form,
Loka,
all the world,
Tat,
that,
Anuvartate,
following the footsteps.
following the footsteps.
Translation: whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. People in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly even before he begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya, or the ideal teacher. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principles of Shastra, scripture, to reach the common man. The teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of revealed scriptures. The revealed scriptures like Manu Samhita and similar others are considered the standard books to be followed by human society. Thus, the leader's teaching should be based on the principles of the standard rules as they are practiced by the great teachers. The Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees, and that is the way of progress on the path of spiritual realization. The king or the executive head of a state, the father and the school teacher, are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of moral and spiritual codes. Om Agyan Tirinandasya Gyan Jana Shalakya Sakshunam Malitamyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, has opened my darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. So, this is...
Sorry, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Michael can translate into German?
Yeah.
And we're going to record it, and then I make Slovak subtitles, so it's going to be like in 3 languages. Okay. Oh, yeah?
So this is from the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Bhagavad Gita is the topmost theistic science. This is the topmost science on God and self-realization. The subject matter of the Bhagavad Gita is the struggle of Arjuna. Yeah, he has to make a choice. Yeah, he has to make a choice.
Translation. Are we going to make this in the German also? German translation, okay.
We can also do afterwards, if you would like, I can try to translate on the fly for him, and I can translate afterwards also the recording.
Make subtitles? Yeah, okay, we're gonna make subtitles.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Yeah, so just sorry.
Okay. Arjuna is going through a struggle. He has to make a choice. On one side, he wants to give up the fight because he thinks that this is very bad. If I go and kill my spiritual master, Dronacharya was the spiritual master of Arjuna. If I kill my grandfather, Bhishma Dev was his grandfather. He raised the Pandavas when they were small children. This is very bad. I cannot do this. It will spoil my the kingdom I gain after the battle. It will be spoiled by blood. I wouldn't be able to enjoy such kingdom. But on the other hand, he understands. He's not a fool. The Varnashram system, we're trying to re-establish the Varnashram system. That was fully in motion 5,000 years ago. The Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, the Shudras, everyone knew his duty. There was no confusion. So, for the Kshatriyas, sometimes there's a fight, and the family members, for example, even one's own father, can end up on the other side of the army, the opposite side. But the rule for Kshatriya is so strict that he should not hesitate, even if his own father he should kill. See, because the Kshatriyas, as a class, they must have this courage. He cannot be a coward. Prabhupada many times he criticized Mahatma Gandhi that Mahatma Gandhi was trying to prove non-violence from the Bhagavad Gita. How foolish that is. That you cannot avoid. Violence must be there. This is the material world. The bad elements, as Prabhupada says, the bad elements are there. Even God has their discrimination. There are good elements, there are bad elements. Material world means duality. If you think that in the material world everyone is nice and happy and I should love everyone, this is utopia. Utopia. That is not spiritual life. Spiritual life begins when I'm able to discriminate. This is the qualification of a human being. A human being can discriminate. A human being has choices. A human being has freedom. Animal doesn't have discrimination. Therefore, the law, for example, doesn't apply to animals. When a cow comes to a shop and the cow eats some sweets from the shop, the cow is not arrested. Right? Because the cow doesn't have the discrimination. Everyone understands, oh, the foolish cow. But if I go and I start eating cookies, sweets, immediately they call cops, I'm arrested and finished. Because I have that chance to make discrimination. You see? So, Arjuna, he's acting on this platform of a Kshatriya, and that is a great struggle for him. And he knows what is the duty. He should fight and do his duty. Kshatriyas are very necessary. If the Kshatriyas are not doing their duty, then the bad elements, the criminals, and so on, they rise and they create disturbance in the society. You see, if there's no firm force, for example, police now, everyone knows it's a farce. Right? Someone steals from you, robs, attacks you, beats you on the street. You don't even want to call the cops because you know already they can't do anything. They're just going to come, they're going to write down a report, and bye-bye, thank you very much. And you deal with your problem, you see? So, Kshatriyas must be there, they must be there. Brahmins, they also must be there. They give the knowledge. But the Kshatriyas, they protect the knowledge. They protect. Even the Kshatriya, he can even chastise the Brahmin. If the Brahmin is deviating from his duty, the Kshatriya has the right to chastise. Oh, why are you doing nonsense? Why are you doing intoxication? Why are you eating meat? You're supposed to be Brahmin. What is this nonsense? When Maharaj Parikshit, when he saw the Kali personified, torturing the bull, right? Immediately he pulled out his sword. He was ready to kill him. So this is the Vedic culture 5,000 years ago, Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna understands his duty of a Kshatriya. On the other hand, he's a devotee. He's a devotee. So he doesn't want to cause misery to others. So compassion, the soft heart. The other party, Duryodhana and company, Dhritarashtra, no consideration, no feelings, nothing. We need to kill these Pandavas. They've done so much harassment to the Pandavas. And still, when the Pandavas came to negotiate it, give us a little village. The Kurus, they said, no, not even a space of the tip of the needle, I won't give you. So cruel, so rascal. So Arjuna was a devotee. He was thinking like this, that they have done great nonsense to me, to my family, they insulted my wife, they have tried to poison, and so on and so on. But let them enjoy. Let them enjoy the property. This is a devotee. Devotee is never wishing bad to anyone. Quite the opposite. Paradukaduki. He's unhappy when others are unhappy. A materialist, a demon, when others are unhappy, then increases his happiness. Yes. Very good. He's suffering. And the more he suffers, the more I can enjoy that. Like for example, he's watching people are starving somewhere or going through some war, and just like they have the news, right? When you turn on the news, it's simply showing, misery, the catastrophes, the killings, the murders, the protests, simply negative. And there's a subtle psychology there, because you feel very safe. And then, cut, and there are commercials. Get a car and everything. Complete opposite. Complete opposite. So if you don't watch the news, then you can't really appreciate the artificial necessities they're offering you in commercials. You see? Just like if you put black and white next to each other. The black is more black, the white is more white. Contrast. Right? So the more we see the news, the suffering and the bad things are happening around the world, the more people want to enjoy nonsense self-gratification. You see? So Arjuna, he understands his duty as a Kshatriya, but he's soft-hearted. He's not a bad person. And he is willing to give up the fight and give him more freedom. Now, Krishna, Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he begins his teaching of the Bhagavad Gita. He says, you were fool number one. He says in a roundabout way that he's actually less intelligent, Arjuna. He says that, he doesn't say that you're fool number one, but he says, what you say, no intelligent man says like that. Very elegant, Krishna is very elegant in his chastisement. Why? Because you're lamenting for the body. They're not your father or family. This is all on body platforms. And that's how he starts the teaching of the Bhakti. Denyosminyatari, komanam yoganam jarasata, dimantra prati, virastatra namyanti, najayate namriyate kadachin. For the soul there is no birth, there is no death. As you had the body of a small boy, a body of a teenager, similarly you have a body of an old man, but a dhira, a self-realized person, is not disturbed by such changes of the body. He understands, nothing to do with me. He's firmly situated in the self. So now, this is the third chapter. The third chapter. In the second chapter, you might remember, Krishna explains quite a lot. Not just this Dehinosminyata Dehe verse, but many other verses explaining about the spirit soul. Cannot be cut into pieces, cannot be withered by the wind, cannot be burned by fire, and so on and so on. He gives a little bit more elaboration on the Atma Tattva, on the knowledge of the self. So now the third chapter begins. Arjuna, he is accepting, yes, makes sense, we're not implying, very good. But he says, O Janardana, O Keshava, why do you urge me to engage in this ghastly warfare if you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work? Fruitive work. Prabhupada defines karma as activity pertaining, actually I think it's one of the shlokas in the Bible. Karma refers to activity which is meant to create a material body. Right? Karma is activity which creates a material body. If we perform karma, activity, action, service, which is not meant for Krishna, we're developing another material body. So now, intelligent question, Arjuna asked Krishna that if we're not this body, and if the aim is to realize the self, I'm eternal, I'm not this body, therefore the problems related to the body are not my problems, then why are you urging me to fight? Because Krishna also tells him, go and fight. So now Krishna explains what is called the Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means karma, activity, but yoga, connected to Krishna. You perform activity, but instead of enjoying the result, give the result to Krishna. This is Karma Yoga. He says that, yes, that is true. We're not this body, and in that sense, our action for the body is useless. But, here in the 5th verse, he says, all men are forced to act helplessly according to the impulses born of the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. This is a very nice smash to the impersonalists also. The impersonalists, they say that now you're performing so many activities. When you become liberated, there's inactive. You become inactive, Brahman. Nothing is going on. Silence. Zero. But Prabhupada very nicely he smashes. He says, as soon as the consciousness leaves the body, no action. Body is motionless. Body has no desire, no individuality, no freedom, nothing. So from that we can understand that it is the consciousness which is the active principle of the body. And if the consciousness gets liberated, how can it lose that quality of being active? That is foolishness. It is never lost. There's action. In the liberated platform, there's action. And what is that action? Devotional service to Krishna. So, he says, one who restrains the senses and organs of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. Now Prabhupada explains that many pretenders refuse to work in Krishna consciousness, but make a show of meditation while actually dwelling within the mind upon sense enjoyment. Such pretenders may also speak on dry philosophy in order to bluff sophisticated followers. But according to this verse, these are the greatest cheaters. For sense enjoyment, one can act in any capacity of the social order. But if one follows the rules and regulations of this particular status, he can make gradual progress in purifying his existence. But he who makes a show of being a yogi while actually searching for the objects of sense gratification must be called the greatest cheater, even though he sometimes speaks of philosophy. His knowledge has no value because the effects of such a simple man's knowledge are taken away by the illusory energy of the Lord. Such a pretender's mind is always impure, and therefore his show of yogi meditation has no value whatsoever. So, we have to act. We have to act, and devotional service is not something vague. It is very concrete. The reason why the conditioned soul is in the material world is because he wanted to become the Lord himself. So that is not possible Such a desire Krishna cannot fulfill. That is impossible even for Krishna. Because the Supreme Controller, God, is eternal. He's eternal. Even if Krishna wanted that you become God instead of him, it is not possible. And Krishna means he's eternal Krishna, eternally Krishna. If he ceases to be God, then he's not God in the first place. So that is a whimsical, nonsensical desire. But Krishna is so nice, so intelligent, that he fulfills that desire. How? He designs the material world, which is the imitation of the spiritual world, where everyone thinks, I am Krishna. Like a madhouse. Everyone thinks, I am Krishna, I am Krishna. We're all thinking, I am Krishna, 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 I am Krishna. And what we call friendship, love, and all these things, is simply an agreement that I'm going to be Krishna, but then you can be Krishna. Then I'm going to worship you, but then we're going to change. Okay? Is it a deal? And this is going on. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he calls it the society of cheaters and cheated. Society of cheaters and cheated. So the root of this illusion is that we have the desire to imitate Krishna. Imitate. Like I just okay. Krishna is enjoying with the gopis. Okay, let me also enjoy sex life to my best abilities. Krishna is chewing some pan, some betel nuts. Okay, let me also do some intoxication. Like I always imitating. Krishna is the Supreme Controller, let me become the President. Let me become a Guru, or things like that. So, this is another intelligence of Krishna. Because Prabhupada, he says that Krishna came and he says, Sarva Dharma Parityaja. Abandon everything, surrender to me, then I'll deliver you. But they misunderstood. They thought, Krishna is an ordinary man, why should I surrender to Krishna? So Krishna comes again as Lord Chaitanya in the form of his devotee. And he says, oh, you want to imitate? You want to imitate me? Check this out, I'm a devotee. Now you imitate me. Now you imitate me. See, I'm a devotee. What are you going to do now? So, everyone is imitating Lord Chaitanya. Oh, I want to be also a devotee. Like that. So, this is very important because when we become devotees, we have responsibility. Devotee is not someone, as we discussed in the morning, someone goes solitary place and he's chanting there on his mala 1 million rounds and remains aloof from the other living entities. Such a state is possible, for a very elevated souls. It is not that anyone who does like that must be nonsense. But for the neophyte, why is it not recommended? Because he did not purify the desire to imitate Krishna. So that is not the process for him. The process for him is that you imitate. You imitate Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is a devotee. You become a devotee and you preach. So when we become devotees, there is a great responsibility because people, this is how they become Krishna conscious. By imitating devotees. Prabhupada says in Nectar of Instruction that imitation of a good thing is good. Sometimes devotees, they go to some place, they chant Hare Krishna, and people also imitate Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. They also chant. They see, shave their heads. Okay, let me also shave the head. Now in the 60s, everyone long hair. Now Prabhupada came, devotees started chanting. Now people are shaving headed. Yeah, in Montreal we saw actually people are wearing shikas. Yeah, now it's fashion. You wear a shika like this.
Yeah, hardcore people do like it.
Yeah.
What we was reading, sloka. So popular people is making the first thing and all following.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we have a great responsibility. Our action, what we do, it's going to be imitated. And that is good. And before people hear what is it about, they imitate. Because that is the nature of the conditioned soul. He's simply imitating. Everything is going on imitation platform. You know, just like you saw, like I was a big fan of Nirvana. You know, Nirvana. I was like, oh, this is very good. Also, let me grow long hair like Kurt Cobain. Also, let me get a guitar. Also, let me make a band. Also, let me smoke some cigarettes and ganja and be, you know, like that. You know, like that, imitation. Everything imitation. So when we enter Krishna consciousness, also, you know, I like these devotees. They're wow, this guy's really nice. He looks really, wow. He lives like that. Wow, it's very nice. I also want to be like that. I'm going to chant now. Imitation. And that is good. Before we hear, before we realize, we imitate. It's good. Because by imitation, you know, he's putting on a tilak, so he sees in the mirror, he sees a devotee. It reminds him. Always. He's always surrounded by devotional paraphernalia. So this is a trick by Krishna. He puts him in, he surrounds himself with reminders of Krishna, like this. So now he has an opportunity, he has a chance to realize Lord Krishna. So, Lord Chaitanya says, Jai Dako Tarikao Krishna Upadesh, Amara Jnana Guru, Hanatara Aidesh. That you all become gurus. This is what Krishna wants actually. It is not that we should not become gurus. We should become gurus. You know? Because that is the way how we become purified. When I start to preach Krishna consciousness, then I will see, oh my God, responsibility. Now if I do some nonsense, I was telling that intoxication is very bad, illicit sex, only fools do it. Now if I do it, and people will see me, those are joking. That's joke. That is, you're finished. So you have great responsibility. You realize, if you don't preach, you can do anything. You can do anything you like. Everything is easy. If I do a little mistake, who's going to see this? Whatever. Krishna, yeah, so what? I don't care. Krishna only for a little while. You know, most of the time, I don't think about Krishna. Krishna is just there somewhere, a hobby. I don't know. So, this is good. Good. If we make some risk, we become more advanced. If I engage in preaching, whatever might be my situation, I'm going to be very imperfect, very contaminated. But if I engage in preaching, everyone can engage in preaching. How? Preach whatever you have assimilated, whatever you follow. Whatever you follow, you chant Hare Krishna, tell others, chant Hare Krishna. That is not hypocrisy. That is not hypocrisy. If someone says, why are you telling people to chant Hare Krishna? You know, you're nonsense, you're not initiated, you're not this, you're not following, No. No. He's chanting Hare Krishna, so he has all the right to tell others to chant Hare Krishna. In this way he becomes elevated. He becomes elevated. Because people will inquire, how do you know about this Hare Krishna? And then you say, well, I read these books and you know, and then they're going to challenge you. So why don't you shave your hair? Why don't you do like the other guys? And then you become ashamed. You know? It's good. It's good to expose ourselves to the elements. Prabhupada, he says, if you glorify your guru at home with flowers, yes, that is very good. And Guru Maharaj will be very pleased. Oh, thank you very much. But if you really want to please your Guru Maharaj, you go and fight and defeat the opposing elements. Opposing elements. So, who are the opposing elements? Nirvishesha Shunyavari Paschatya Rishadari. Not very difficult to understand. The Shunyavaris, the atheists, the scientists, the voidists, and Nirvishesha, the Mayavadis, impersonalists. This is the root problem of all problems. These misguided philosophies or misguiding philosophies, because both of them are actually started by Krishna himself, right? In the form of Shankaracharya, and that is Lord Shiva, of course. He's a devotee of Krishna, and Lord Buddha also a devotee of Krishna. Krishna has some purpose there, you know. Lord Buddha was preaching atheism because people were using the Vedic literatures. So he told them, forget the Vedas, forget God, simply don't kill animals. Start from the scratch, from the basic platform. So people rejected the Vedas and started following Buddha. So now someone had to brought people back to the Vedas. So Shankaracharya says, no, this is nonsense, void. What is this void? There's Brahman. Sorry. So there was a particular purpose to introduce these philosophies. But now these philosophies have become impediments for people. Actually, they create so much havoc in the world. So Krishna sends Srila Prabhupada to clean up the mess. Clean up the mess. These scientists, these rascals, post-dated checks, these Mayavadis, you think you're God, but you know, you have forgotten that you're God. What is this nonsense? How can God become forgetful? How can God become subjugated by Maya? Prabhupada cuts right to the core. So this is the mission of Srila Prabhupada, to defeat the atheists and the impersonalists. So we should tax our brains how to, first of all, we should understand how these philosophies, what are these philosophies, what are the defects of these philosophies, and we should recognize them. Everyone is affected by this. People think, oh, I don't believe in any religion, this and that. Are they following the conclusions of Buddhism or impersonalism? Many people say, there's no one way. There are many ways. You can choose any way you like. This is impersonalism. No individuality. Or they say, there is no soul. We're just chemicals. You know, now you go neuroscience, you go on Wikipedia, you will find out actually they can make this with electricity in the brain and everything else. So Prabhupada actually explains this is the philosophy of Buddhism. You know, we're just the combination of 24 elements. It's not something new. Scientists come up with some new theory. It was started so many years ago by Lord Buddha, this philosophy. They're just chewing the truth. So we can do a lot of preaching if we understand these philosophies in depth, and we'll recognize all these misconceptions and we'll be able to defeat them. Not on the basis of, oh, you from such group and this group and that's why you nonsense. No, we ask them, what is your philosophy? And we explain that this philosophy is flawed in this way and that way. If he's intelligent, he will appreciate, oh, very good. Yes, I was actually misguided. Thank you very much. If he's sincere, if he's intelligent. And then, of course, we can tell him, would you like to know the real philosophy? And then we can explain Krishna consciousness. So, of course, that is for the more intelligent, but for the masses, they're going to follow what they see. So we have to show the example. The nonsense devotees, Sura devotees, and so on and so on. And we have the bona fide spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Yes. With great mercy. But now, the next step is that we have to become the perfect examples of Srila Prabhupada's disciples. Because only in such a way that more people can come to Prabhupada, the genuine path. General people, they don't want to hear. They want the living guru. They want something physical. You know, living guru, living temple, something material. They want. So for them, Prabhupada is not there physically. I don't want to read the books. This is not for me. But if you read the books and you repeat, that person, he can come to Krishna consciousness. at least he can have a chance to come to Prabhupada ultimately. So there are two classes of people. Not everyone is fully into reading and fully sincere, but he can become sincere if we are showing the proper example. So this preaching activity is so important. Srila Prabhupada always says, preach, preach, preach. He says, in the first, one of those first classes, 1966, in the storefront, he says, whatever you have heard in this meeting, you go and you talk to your friends, your family, and so on and so on. In this way, you become a guru. You become a guru. See, at that time, there were no standards. There was nothing. You know, we were just hippies. Everything was freestyle, very loose. The Prophet says, whatever you remember, you go and you tell others. In this way, you become a guru. So what to speak of now? Now we have all the books, everything. We know how to do things. Let us show the example to the people in general. How to be a real disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Not necessarily externally, but understanding the philosophy and following purely, strictly. And everything is going to be very nice. The preaching is going to be very nice. People will be attracted. They cannot understand that Prabhupada is there for them. They cannot understand he's in the books. But he will see, oh, this person, what is he doing? Where is he getting his energy from? And then he shows over there, Srila Prabhupada. So that's why Prabhupada says, in this way, this is the real glorification of your spiritual master. We can chant Prabhupada, 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 and say Prabhupada is the Diksha Guru, and so on, so on. We can say that many times. That is very good. But if we become a sincere disciple, and we're pure, and we preach, and we understand the philosophy, then people will see, oh, this is a very nice person. What is this? We won't even have to say it. And they will automatically inquire, who is your spiritual master? Who has taught you? And then that attraction is different. When you tell him, Prabhupada is the Guru, Prabhupada is the Guru, by the way, Prabhupada is the Guru, he's like, yeah, so what, you know? There's no, no inquiry. There's no inquiry. Most of the people are not sincere, very insincere. They have no interest at all in spiritual life. They're like animals. Whatever, I don't care, I'm just going to die, whatever. Something happens, so what? Don't worry about it. Just, that's fun now. Like children, right? They just want to play. And father come to school. No, I want to play. They're all like that. Right? Manusyanam sasyesu kaschideti siddhaya yadadamapi siddhana kaschimamiti tathata. Amongst many thousands of men, hardly one is trying to reach perfection. Out of those who are trying, hardly one knows Krishna in truth. It is not, we are manufacturing this. Krishna himself, he says, is very rare. Krishna consciousness is it's not for the masses of people. But the masses of people can be also elevated if they have a good example. Just like Srila Prabhupada. You can see it very nicely. See here, after Prabhupada left, everything was dismantled. Right? And when Prabhupada was there, he showed the example, and they got into it. And so many wonderful things were accomplished. Right? So similarly, Prabhupada wants this, that you also become like that. You also become like me. Become a pure devotee. Why not? And show the example. The masses will be benefited so much. So this one we should not forget. And this is what Prabhupada wants also. Prabhupada, yes, Prabhupada doesn't need the praise. That is for our benefit. If I think that I'm going to chant Prabhupada and I'm going to please, because he has an ego. Prabhupada has an ego. If I tell Prabhupada, he's going to be pleased. Oh, thank you very much. Prabhupada says, thank you very much, because, you know, by doing this, you're going to come out of the stool. So he says, thank you very much for elevating yourself. That is actually what Prabhupada says. How he can get any pleasure from our, you know, so-called praise. Yeah? We don't even know how to praise Prabhupada. Because we don't understand who Prabhupada is. We don't fully understand. Prabhupada is hugging Krishna. Such an intimate relationship he has. So what Prabhupada can benefit from our praise, right? He's not like a conditioned soul we can control by some praise, right? But we can still please him. It's not impersonal. We can still please him if we do like this. We follow his instruction. Part of the instruction to glorify the spiritual master, but it's not all in all. It's not all in all. The essence of the instruction is that the spiritual master says that you also do like me, engage in this confidential service of elevating others on my behalf. Krishna says, there's no one more dear to me than the one who's preaching my message to my devotees. Right? So Prabhupada he also thinks like that of us. If you go and you preach on his behalf, you take some risk, and so on and so on, you cultivate someone, you give advice to people, you encourage people. Oh, Prabhu, you're chanting some rounds, very good, do some more, offer your food, like that. If you do like that, simple things, we can please Prabhupada very, very much. So I'll stop here. If there are any questions, you're very much welcome to ask or comments. You agree?
You need to write it down in paper and yeah, so what the big man or like a prominent man does, the other follows. What the other follows. So in devotee, you know, we like for general mass of people, we are some crazy wackos on the street chanting, you know, something in robes like that. So how actually we are in that position of inspiring others to follow or to take up Krishna consciousness. What the big man does, the common man follows in his footsteps.
Yes.
So
random
devotee on the street, like people don't necessarily accept him or recognize him or see him as a big man.
Okay, but what are the people?
So how are they going to be inspired to follow?
Who are the people? What is that people? You see? Who is the people? Do you know every single person? Personally? The people, that's an abstract terminology. It doesn't exist. There's no such a thing as people.
The karmis.
The karmis also, you don't know them. You don't know every single person. Even he might say, this is something weird, but he might actually, deep inside, is like, wow, this is really cool. But I can't say because my wife is here, so, oh, this is very weird. How can you tell? You know? Yes, okay, some people think we're wackos, and so on and so on. But actually some people, they're like, oh wow, this is really crazy. I love it. They love it for that reason. This is something unusual, very, very crazy. And that's wonderful because this city is so boring.
Yeah.
Right? So you can never please everyone. Just like I was saying in the beginning, this is the world of dualities. There will never be such a thing that everyone's going to be praising you. Oh, you're not crazy. Even Krishna was attempted to be killed. Even Krishna. So that will never stop. We inspire those who are sincere.
You
For
know,
those who are big men, just like, look at Prabhupada. Look at Prabhupada. Look how devotees on the videos, how they praise Prabhupada. Bowing down and showering flower petals, building big Vyasasan, fanning with chamaras. How much praise they give to Prabhupada. Right? Prabhupada, he says that, look, who gets this kind of respect? All these politicians, they don't have such respect. Big President of the United States, it's all just fake, you know? All these different assistants and, you know, whatever, workers, they praise, oh, Mr. President, it's all fake. They just want some money or some position. It's all fake. And the devotees, you can see on the videos, they love Prabhupada. They love. It is genuine love. How can a person give up everything and surrender completely to Prabhupada's instructions, Prabhupada's will? Prabhupada simply does like that. Millions of devotees, they're ready to follow. You see? So, who cares about the rest of the world? Who cares? The big man, Prabhupada, is respected. And he inspires others to follow. His relative people. He's very relative.
Ultimately, it's also not our business to consider this. Just do our duty.
That's right. See, we decide what kind of reality we're going to accept. For someone, we might be just a cult, a bunch of crazy people who are wasting their time and so on and so on. So yeah, you can look at it from that point of view, and you can find your evidences and so on and so on. But we don't want that kind of reality. We think that no, Krishna is here. We're doing the best. Because we're eternal. We're doing some eternal activity. It depends on how you want to think. It's up to you. So we don't have to be concerned about the people. Never we're concerned. We're concerned about the people when Krishna says. If Krishna says, go and hide, stop chanting, become like a normal person with a suit and with a suitcase, then we're going to do it with great pleasure. Because Krishna says. And we're going to please people. If people say, play some mundane music, we're going to play. If Krishna says, do like that, we're going to do that. But not that they're going to tell us, you stop this Hare Krishna and play some mundane music so I can have some nice sense gratification. We'll never do like that. Never. They're not our masters. Krishna is our master. Prabhupada is our master.
You from other people also that nobody should stop their duties in Varna to fast and not making a show of meditation.
Yes.
And many devotees think also that for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he rejected Varna Shantanam in the discussion with Ramananda Royan.
Yes.
He rejected everything.
Yes.
Only chanting and discussion of Leelas. This was the most important thing. And some devotees say that this is most important. But Prabhupada say that we are not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are not all Paramahamsas, therefore we must mix it. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have done, chanting, and at the same time doing also our duties. And this is the most, one thing is very difficult, because for some temple presidents, for example, I was seeing this in ISKCON temples also. The temple president saw one new bhakta, and he was thinking, okay, he can join immediately the temple, but it's not every time right. Some people, they was burned out after some time because it was not the best instruction from the temple president. After that, Mario, now he wants nothing to have to do again with Krishna consciousness. It's very heavy because he was a leader, Sankirtan leader and all this. times he broke. This was too difficult for him, all this. And because he was in Grihastha, he was making a show, Brahmachari, and making a show of Sankirtanila and all this. And after that he found out, because the temple president had not seen this.
Couldn't recognize.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Prabhupada says we should not canvass. Come join the temple. Come.
Not everyone. Some must be also in a congregation who are going to work and give some donations. No problem.
Yeah, we should never canvass. People should come. I want to join the temple. We should test them.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want to join? Okay. First of all, wash the pots.
yeah.
And you do that.
Mhm.
What pots? I want to give classes. Okay, you can go. You're not ready. That's Bhakti Siddhanta. That's what he was doing. If someone wanted to join Gaudiya Math, he would say, okay, yeah, sure. Now go. A big pile of pots. Please, this is how you join. And there was, our voice is nonsense. That must be done. Must be tested. We have a valuable jewel. We're not after people. We're not after followers. That's not our desire. We want sincere people to join us. So one bad apple can spoil the whole tree. Prabhupada also says, don't make this a haven for rascals, this movement. Don't admit people who are not ready, who are not sincere. They will create disturbance. Better, he says, make a one-man show. In a letter he says, you can make a temple. One person is sufficient for a temple.
One sincere devotee.
One sincere devotee, he says. Just like I started in New York, I was one only. So you can also do that. One-man show. You chant, you give classes, you read, you edit, you write, you do artik, you do book distribution, just like Prabhupada. You cook, yeah. You eat. Like that. That is more valuable. If someone becomes a solid one moon, it's more valuable than 1,000 nonsense. Because they're just like dead weights. They didn't come to serve, they came to enjoy. So if you are surrounded by people like that, you have to go and preach. And on the top of it, you have to serve all these different egos. You see? So that's why the preaching cannot progress, because you have no time. You have to serve this person, that person. That person is agitated. I need this, otherwise I'm going to leave the temple. Please don't go, because then, you please don't go. I'll give you this, I'll give you that. And then there's no progress in preaching. But when people are sincere, when they're in a temple because they want to be there, and they're going to stay there no matter what, complete surrender. Even if the temple breaks down, they will continue. Then they can preach. They can very nicely expand. So Prabhupada says, don't canvass. First of all, let people read the books. Let them read. Let them stay outside. Come to the temple, associate, but let them read the books. First of all, let them understand the philosophy. Then they can join the temple. That is better. Prabhupada says this in a letter. That is a mistake. If you admit someone who's not ready, that is his mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, many times I saw this.
That is also Brahmana. This qualification has to have discrimination. He has to say this is a Kshatriya, this person is a Kshatriya, propensity, Vaishya. So he can engage them accordingly. It's very important. Brahmanic position of a Brahmin. Because unless there's a person like that, nobody knows what to do. And one wants to serve, but he's serving in some nonsense way. He's misguided. And he's disturbed, like you said, he was making a show. Making a show.
This was only one example.
Yeah.
And now I'm ready. This was actually, I was true.
Mhm.
It's also difficult. Many examples of this.
Yeah, when the show becomes the focus and there's no pleasure. Alright. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Bhagavad Gita ki
Jai.